National Convention will soon get underway. Dave Brat joins us now live from Lynchburg, Virginia. He's a former Republican congressman. Dave, we really appreciate you being with us. The president will be giving his address with protests outside the White House over what's happening in Wisconsin. Americans right now, they're also picking up the pieces from one of the country's most devastating hurricanes. How does he address those elephants in the room while effectively selling his time in office?
Yeah, I think they go hand in hand. All the Democrats are very nervous that the violence across the country in all the Democrat cities is moving the polling numbers in the last few days in a big way. So he's got the convention going on. He's been the only president in 40 years that's been hitting China hard. Biden has been pro-China his whole life. Trump had the economy roaring ahead. We got hit by the CCP virus. And he's got to come back on the way. And so, he's just going to make the basic points. China allowed the virus to come. They opened up 400,000 flights to Milan and the U.S. and Europe, et cetera. And if he gets those basic points through, and then the violence is all in only Democrat cities, and they can control it, and they're not. And so right now, the rule of law and the economic growth and the China story all kind of play into his hands, and the polling is moving in that direction.
Dave, as you mentioned, the president is still trailing in the polls behind Biden, and polls previously suggested that most Americans have disapproved of his job in office, and particularly his handling of the coronavirus pandemic. How does he convince particularly undecided and moderate voters that he is still the guy to lead the country for the next 4 years?
Yeah, I know the polling has been in question, right? He was down 10% last time. And the thing that's changed is last time he had the entire Republican establishment against him, and still somehow he won. And he had the whole media against him last time, but now they're really against him. And so the American people, they're just going to look at the fundamentals, right? I mean, he's been called every name in the book, and the left has just kind of failed. They had Russian Gate, Ukraine Gate, and then our Supreme Court Kavanaugh Gate, and now they're trying to do this post office gate, and none of it turned out to be true. And so you only get to cry wolf 42 times, and then people start figuring out it's a game. And so he's been fighting the fight on behalf of the middle class, and he's going to make that case. The left and the Democrats are saying, you couldn't get any Hollywood people. And Trump's like, I don't think you get it. The American people aren't into Hollywood right now. They would just like a job and their wages to go up, and they would like no violence.
It's interesting, Dave. You make such a good point on the polling front. Cannot contest that at all with you. But one quick one before we go. Given how polarized the country is right now, do you think Trump would be able to work with a Congress that is run by Democrats?
Well, it's polarized because the left polarized it. I mean, if you follow the news, the CIA and the FBI have been caught red-handed working against Trump before he even got into office. All the evidence is in. And so he didn't get a chance to be president. They've been after him before he got in, while he's in, Russiagate, Ukrainegate. They impeached him for nothing, for Russiagate, which turned out to be false. And the dossier that they had full of information, it turns out, came from the Democrat Party. And so I think the people are starting to figure it out.
Well, Dave, it's going to be interesting to hear what the president has to say this evening. We really appreciate you being with us.